Hi everybody, welcome to our first chapter in the Kachur Ch and Edwards book. This is really on what teachers should be doing in classroom walkthroughs. So I want you to understand why I picked this book and why it's one that I like and why I looked at it. When Oklahoma State has always used Glickman. It's used it probably for the last 10 years. So normally this class is taught with the Glickman book. Where I used to work, we used the Sullivan textbook. I used an older edition of it. It was more related to literacy practices, which it's kind of why a lot of the stuff that I talk about when I'm relating topics, or when you use this for guided reading or RTI, you're probably sick of me saying that, but it's one of the reasons why it's there. I looked at this course over the summer because I wanted to teach this course, and I have experience doing it at other places. But I wanted stuff on what teachers should be doing in the walkthrough process. That was important to me. So I sent 10 books. I said I want 10 books. I want to look for something that will work, that's quick and dirty, and also inexpensive. This was the best one on the market. It was from ASCD, which was why I picked it, and it was cheap. So I picked it, and I believe in this book, and I think it's a good book. It is my first time using it. I read it over the summer. I loved it. I thought, I really believe that the people in this class are going to enjoy it and they're going to get something out of it, because it's going to present this from an odd perspective, knowing that we're looking at walkthroughs on what teachers could potentially be doing in the walkthroughs. It's curricular-driven, teacher-driven, which was lacking in this entire course, so that's why I picked it. So it's a teacher perspective. If you are in a state where you're permitted to do this, and in Oklahoma, you are 100% permitted to do this, you can use this information to better your supervision, especially if you have the right teachers that are in place. At the end of the day, we want all of our teachers to be good. We want them to be effective. And this book gives examples of how other teachers can help make other teachers good, which is why I like it. Our textbook provides 6 reasons why we should have teachers better involved and more heavily involved in walkthroughs. They can learn from other teachers and learn to be better teachers themselves. It can ease the fear of trying something new because they might get feedback that they want. They can feel motivated. They can identify areas for their own development. They can look at reflective dialogue, and they can accelerate improvement. So, as we normally do, we'll look over each one of these. You've heard me say education is a loosely coupled system. It is the #1 thing that I say in any org theory class. It's from White from 1976. It's the biggest idea that you're going to come up with. Teachers follow the rules, but as soon as that door closes, the teachers are more likely to do their own things. Seeing how other teachers do other things can help improve our instruction. We did it as student teachers. Why can't we do it now in professional positions? And if we can do it, we can improve classroom instruction. So that's the point. We will try something new if we see benefits from it. If another teacher does something and we like it, we're likely to say, oh well, this might work in my classroom too. In your low-performing school districts, your large urban school districts where reform is all that they talk about, teachers are scared to try new things. But in your average schools, they're not. And I think that's a good thing. So I feel like everybody who's in this class is here to get better and improve their practice. It's the point of the work we do on teacher leadership and teacher walkthroughs, and if teachers see someone else doing something better than them, they might want to change. It might spark them and might say, hey, I see what they're doing, I can do this and I can do it better too. Teachers need to know what areas of professional development they need personally to make their lives better and their teaching practice better. If somebody has a need for professional development, watching others integrate it will show them how to do it instead of going to a dumb training that's going to be 8 hours long where they don't get their hands on it and they're just sit to watch it over and over again. If you see physically another teacher do it, you can go to that teacher and you can say, hey, walk me through step by step how I can link this mouse to this PC. And I say this right now because the room that I'm in, it's not working properly today, but normally I always carry my mouse around and it's not working. There's this notion of reflective dialogue. If teachers are watching other teachers engage in practice, then they should be able to converse with them after an observation took place as well. If the dialogue is teacher to teacher, it's going to improve practice and it's going to improve instruction because it's not supervisor to teacher. It's even better if the principal doesn't know what happened, because then the teacher's engaging in that practice with another teacher, and the principal doesn't need to know. So everything we do, everything that we talk about in this class, everything we talk about in any class, should be somewhat tied to student performance. Everything has to be done with this premise of improving how students learn. Teachers are professionals, and they really should have an idea of how students learn. But if you see it through the eyes of another teacher, you may come up with a strategy that you never thought was possible, or that you may never have used in your own environment. So I see problems and challenges with this, and I'm relating this from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where teachers that were tenured were not permitted to go into other tenured teachers' classes. If anybody from Pennsylvania is watching this, you know that's the truth. Sometimes people think that other teachers will talk to them about their other peers and say, this person's a horrible teacher. This happens. I am not standing up here and saying, this never happens. This happens. You can't get over this. But if these are carefully planned, done with people who like each other, and done in a respectable manner, the rewards for doing this far outweigh the consequences. It's tied to professional learning communities and instructional rounds. You're already doing some of this work, but give your teachers the authority to go into the classrooms and do observations. This book used walkthrough data from 17 different states to make their judgments. I say this without, without saying anything wrong, but you should know that Oklahoma was not included in this. Every state had their own protocol, and I wanted to try to present it in a combined manner so that I'm not saying, well, in Arkansas they did this, in Florida they did this. I'm giving you the big ideas because this book is a study itself. So the reasons why teachers were involved in the walkthrough process, you can take a minute on your own to read this. They're all presented for you, and I'll let you read this for about a minute. I think all of them are stuff that we've spoke about already. So, in almost all cases, districts were involved in these procedures. You have to understand that if you believe in succession planning, eventually you should be the district leader. You have to be the ones that support these initiatives. You have to be patient in letting things like this happen, because teachers are going to be scared of this. I don't see any way around this. You have to be patient to make sure these initiatives take place, and the teachers aren't in fear for their lives when they're doing these initiatives. So the final recommendations for the authors is to really look at the models of walkthroughs that you're using, or select something that actually relates to the culture of your school. Promote them as a way to see these are great practices that our teachers are doing. Find ways that it can link to other school improvement initiatives. If you're doing professional learning communities or instructional rounds, link them together. Tell teachers, I love this one, I love this one, I love this one, because so many times people get into a job and they don't know what the job's going to be like. Tell teachers that walkthroughs are part of the culture and an important part of professional development, and give support at the district level for the walkthrough process. So Chapter 2 is entirely about culture. I know we've covered culture before, but we're going to look at it again because there's a different culture of walkthroughs, and it also looks at why teachers get scared when you say the term. So if there's anything else I can do to help, please let me know, but that's a good overview of Chapter 1 in our Teacher Leader Walkthrough book. Thank you.